Good evening from ATI Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium, where today the Rochester College Warriors are visiting your Fighting Saints. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside for this edition of University of St. Francis Men's Soccer. As we are underway, St. Francis in the home whites, and Rochester in the visiting black with a red stripe down the side. Get to the starting lineups here in just a bit. This is the first game of the season for Rochester, second one for the Saints, who tied Taylor on Tuesday. There's Lucas St. Paul starting at defender today for the Saints. First time we've seen him so far this year. I believe he played in game one. He did not. Rochester takes the ball away, but that pass a little too far, and there's St. Paul once again with the takeaway. That ball cleared by Castillo over the far end line. It'll be a throw in for Rochester. Here's the starting lineup for Rochester. KJ Jones, the starting keeper. He wears number 0. Mateus Barron is the defender wearing number 2. Alex Ofimu is a midfielder, and he wears number 4. Number 5, Luai Fakori, is a midfielder as well. AJ Santavi, number 8, also a midfielder. Two more midfielders coming up right here. Mark Shauna and Cameron Harrison, numbers 10 and 11 respectively. As you see Batangelo clearing one. There's Noah Jawdat, the starting keeper for St. Francis, able to get to his first test of the day. Jawdat did not start game 1 for the Saints. Instead, it was the freshman Carlos Ferrer Cotto. Jawdat started 13 games last year for the Saints, looking to hold his perch as the starting keeper, but he has some serious competition from this freshman Ferrer Cotto out of Spain. Continuing down the Rochester starting lineup, Kyle Richards plays defender, wears number 12. Nathan Tranzo, another defender, 15. Kyle Emmy, a midfielder, number 16. And a forward, Christian Sipley, number 23, rounds out the lineup for Rochester today. As I mentioned, first game of the season for the Warriors. They will play a couple of games. While they're down here, they'll face off against Judson tomorrow, and it's them and Lincoln Christian will just flip-flop, and we'll see Lincoln Christian here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. They are playing Judson today. I believe that game has already taken place. Yes, it was a 4 o'clock start today between Lincoln Christian, the Red Lions, and the Judson Eagles up in Elgin. You see that often, and we'll see that again next weekend. I believe it's the women's team who will play twice next weekend. Similar situation where you get 4 teams together, and 2 of them travel to the Chicagoland area and play the other 2. We'll have our first women's soccer broadcast tomorrow. It'll be at 4:30, right after our opening day football game, as that one's headed up into the air, and Jawdat able to grab it with 2 hands securely. Looking for St. Paul, but a little bit of pressure from Rochester on St. Paul. Looks like Jawdat will clear this one away, and he does. You're mentioning how beautiful it was on Tuesday. If you didn't get the hint, it's also beautiful today. Absolutely gorgeous out here in Joliet. Certainly not what we're used to in late August. Anytime you see those August 25th soccer games, you immediately think 90 degrees and humid. But today is nothing of the sorts. It is beautiful out here, about mid-70s, clear skies. Just a great day for soccer. This one taken away, and here's a chance for Rochester. That's Sipley kicking the pass up to Richards. Richards tackled nicely by Batangelo, and we're going to get our first corner of the day. It will go to Rochester. Looks like they're going to try to set it up quickly. Jawdat trying to get his defense in position just as fast. Let's see how he does in putting his defense in the right spots here. There's the corner, and he bounces all the way across the face of goal and then cleared away by the defense. Looked like One of the defenders for St. Francis, Santillan, got in the way of that one. It would have been a sure goal as Jaudet went out for it, missed it. It goes all the way across the face of goal to the far post, and unable to put it in is Rochester, missing a golden opportunity to score here early. Here's Leon Laskowski, first shot of the day for St. Francis. It rolls harmlessly to the keeper, Jones. But that was a really good opportunity for the Warriors not to be this time around. St. Francis' defense holds, and Santillan gets himself a save. Go in statistically as a team save, but still nonetheless making sure his team doesn't go down 1-0 early. Here are the starters for St. Francis. Mentioned Santillan and Noah Jaudet. Santillan, number 22, a defender, while Jaudet wears number 01, not just number 1, but number 01. And he is in goal today for St. Francis, getting the start after Carlos Ferrer-Coto got the start in Game 1 for the Saints. Here's Jaudet playing a pass from Brian Castillo, playing left back to start this game, number 30. Lucas St. Paul here at the right back position. Center back is Christian Betangelo. Here's Josh Yemen, number 19, also in the starting lineup. He's a forward. This ball played up for Kelvin and Lovu. He won't get there. And it'll be all the way into the hands of Jones. And Lovu playing on that left side in the midfield. Leon Laskowski on the near side. He wears number 7. Other midfielders, we have Santillan, number 22, who had that team save. Also Mohamed Rashid, who always seemed to be around the ball on Tuesday. Right on cue, there he is, hitting a pass to the near side that Lucas St. Paul whiffs on. That's going to go all the way over the near sideline for a throw-in for Rochester. Also in the midfield, Stephen Campbell, and I believe that rounds out the starting lineup for St. Francis. Actually, one more, Mason Messina, midfielder. Excuse me, Mason, for getting you there for a second, but we got you in the end, so it's all good. Betangelo heads it away, and Lovu going after it. Now played on the far side by Santavy. Trying to go against Mason Messina. Santavy slides down to one knee, now gets himself back up and retains possession nicely. Richards has the ball deflected out of bounds off of a white shirt, and it'll be a throw-in for Rochester. Last time these two teams met, it was last year, and it was the first win of the season and the first win of the career here at St. Francis for head coach Dan Cross. Now in his second season with the Saints, they're also looking for their first win of this season after tying with Taylor the other day. That one sent to the middle. Now here's a chance for Rochester. Here's a shot and save off the post and eventually a goal. Wait, hold on. The official, no, they're going to call a handball on this. So originally the shot was Rochester's 10 here on the near side. That Shauna, he couldn't quite put it in. It bounced off the keeper. Then a shot off the post by number 4 for Rochester, Ofimu, and Ofimu eventually brought it in, but then the middle official, Jordan Primick, said, no, it went in off your arm, and therefore, no goal. No goal that time around, as that was some serious action down by the St. Francis net, and they really have to pull it together here defensively. Always a couple of really good chances for Rochester. And we're only a couple minutes into the contest. That ball taken away. Laskowski was looking for a run. Couldn't quite find it. Now on the far side, this is Cameron Harrison. Perhaps Rochester showing a little bit of extra energy here in the opening couple of minutes after losing to the Saints last year. This one booted, but it doesn't matter because there was a foul. Mason Messina ended up on the turf here at ATI Field. Jefferson Street to our left. Softball field to our right, and soccer right in front of us. Maybe a foul on Mohamed Rashid, one of the starters for St. Francis. And it'll go up the other way for Rochester, wearing the visiting black or white numbers and the white RC logo on the left chest area. Also some interesting stripes down the side of their uniforms. That is going to be a corner for Rochester. One, our other officials around the field today, Besnick Rex Heppy's on the near side, and Ethan Bugey is camped out right by where the corner kick is about to take place. Couple of players in the area, Santavi and Shauna. Shauna took the first one. We'll see if he takes this one or if it's Santavi. No, it's Santavi. Ball swirls in towards the near post and is eventually popped up into the air by somebody. There are a couple of players in the area. Couldn't tell which one it was. That one eventually played over the end line, and Lucas St. Paul wins a goal kick for his keeper, Jaudet. Lucas St. Paul, a junior transfer for the Saints. Originally was going to wear number 20, but had to change jerseys with Ivan Serlina. Just a better fit for each guy. And so Serlina now wearing number 20 for the Saints, and Lucas St. Paul wearing the number 11 on the near side. And Delovu had it taken away. Now it's still chasing after it. And it's tipped out of bounds off of him for a Rochester throw-in. As I mentioned last year, a 3-1 win for the Saints against these Warriors. It was the first win of Dan Cross's career as head coach of University of St. Francis. Check that, it wasn't a 3-1 win, it was a 2-0 win. So that one slipped away from me apparently. But we're going to call it a 2-0 win. It was here on August 21st. Leon Laskowski scored the first goal on an assist from Mohamed Rashid. Both of them back. That was actually off of a rebound. Laskowski able to put it in. Nice swarming of the defense on the near side by the Saints after the ball was taken away, and a potential counter in the works for Rochester. That was in the 29th minute, that goal by Laskowski, and then Jose Estrada, the 44th minute, was able to put one in as well. A little bit of jostling on the near side, and there'll be a foul on Rochester this time. A bit of chippiness in that game last year. We saw some in game 1 for St. Francis against Taylor, but there were 5 yellows issued out that day here in Joliet. That ball played all the way to the keeper. And he will put us back into play here in just a moment. It's a line drive kick. Not too convincing. Not quite over the halfway line here in this field. With 32 minutes, 20 seconds to play first half, we're still scoreless, and the Saints should be feeling pretty fortunate they're still scoreless. A couple of great chances for Rochester in the opening minutes. But the Saints able to evade the pressure, make a couple of key saves, and then a little bit of luck off the bounce on the shot from Ofimu. Goal essentially wide open, and Ofimu had a chance to rip it in, hit the post. The ball came back, hit him in the arm, and went into the goal. And the referee ended up calling a handball. Here's Ndlovu taking a shot that's pulled wide. Calvin Ndlovu, the junior midfielder, 5'8", 150, out of Alberton, South Africa, Belfast High School. This time it's not going to be Jones. Instead, somebody else with the clear for Rochester. And this one's hit pretty well. Wind is not really a factor here today, blowing a little bit from right to left on your screen. You can see there are 2 actually American flags, so I could see how it might be confusing which one do you want to face during the national anthem. There's one to our left, but that may not actually be visible from the field of play. It may only be visible from up here. Laskowski tried to play that to a running St. Paul instead. The chest attempt was a little bit wide of him. It'll be a throw-in for the Warriors. There's one over to our left, well beyond the goal that Noah Jaudet is currently a couple yards away from. It's the St. Francis keeper. And then there's another one that's much more in plain sight. It's right in between, essentially, the softball field and here. And that's the one that everybody decides to face. Petangelo trying, but a step won by Sipley. Down he goes. No foul called and a goal kick. Sipley wants a chat with Jordan Premick, the middle official, after that one, but you did not see anything of too much harm, and so it'll be a goal kick for Jaudet. Mentioned that Jaudet was the starter last year for the Saints, at least for most of the season, 13 games. That was his freshman year, and now he's got another freshman, and Carlos Ferracoto, who's battling for his job, much like I'm sure he did with Brian Vasquez, senior keeper on this St. Francis team. I'm sure he can relate to what Ferracoto is doing, much to what he did last year. Ferracoto really impressed in game one. Here's a nice ball played towards Joshua Yemen. He goes down. A nice tackle by a Rochester defender. Leon Laskowski keeps it in on the near side. Some nifty footwork around one defender. Here comes the second defender, and he eventually slows Laskowski up enough for the help defense to come. Rochester takes it away. And now Kyle Richards running up the far sideline. Richards looking for Sipley. Couldn't find him. Petangelo on the other end of the pass. And Messina will settle it down for the Saints. And Lovu kicking it up for Laskowski. Lots of open space in front of him. Laskowski has a couple of targets in the box. Now the defender is swarming quickly. Laskowski to the outside. He hits a shot. Ooh, just wide. I think it might have been a cross as well. Could have been one or the other. Now this one blasted right at KJ Jones by Mohamed Rashid. And right into his awaiting arms. Four shots for the Saints, 3 for Rochester. Here in just about the opening 17 minutes or so of the game. Rochester certainly with the better quality chances. St. Francis maybe with more number in terms of shots, but there was really 2 great opportunities for Rochester in the opening minute. But the Saints able to evade any danger, if just by the skin of their teeth. This ball played up towards Ndlovu and then kicked away nicely by the defender, Matthews Barron, on the far side. Throw in for the Saints. Mason Messina catches the ball and is ready for it. Messina looks for an open target. Taken away quickly by Kyle Richards. Richards passed a little behind his intended target on the near side, but still able to play it. Down the line they come. Petangelo is there, and he clears it into the near side fence. Got some fans here enjoying the weather. See some of the St. Francis women's soccer players out supporting their fellow Saints. Both teams will play tomorrow. Mentioned it at the top, but in case you just tuned in, it's a big weekend here at ATI Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium, where we have the football team starting off their season tomorrow at 12. They will face the number 4 ranked team in the nation, Morningside College out of Iowa. Perennially a top program. Actually, they have Morningside is the team that has appeared in the NAIA Top 25 for the most consecutive weeks, at least actively, 126 consecutive weeks that Morningside's football team has been in the top 25 poll. So they come to Joliet tomorrow, not to be outdone by a couple of solid soccer games we'll have right here as well. Laskowski looking for help. Rashid, a little late getting there. Defender, but then Rashid takes it away, spinning over the end line, and it'll be a corner kick for the Fighting Saints. Much to the dismay of the Rochester bench, Rashid quickly plays it in. And I have a whistle, and I think it went over the near sideline perhaps, or it might just be another corner kick, and it will be. Here it comes, into the box, headed towards goal and just over the bar. That was Brian Castillo. Just missing it high. But he was in the right area, just couldn't quite get enough on it and keep it down. whistle on the far side, and it looks like a foul on the Fighting Saints, which will give Rochester a free kick just past midfield. Steadily approaching 7:30 here in Joliet. Wind, as I mentioned, blowing from right to left. And it looks like we're going to have a stoppage. And I think somebody's going to need to check out the trainer, perhaps. And once the clock stops, I believe you may have to sub out here. So actually, it's going to be a couple of guys who are jostling, and they just need a stern talking to from Jordan Primick, our middle official. Christian Sipley and Brian Castillo are the two that are chatting with each other at the moment, and now chatting with Primick for a while, and now ball blasted all the way to Jaudet. He doesn't catch it. Instead, he punches it. Interesting play there by Jaudet, the keeper. I wonder if that just shows he had a couple of close chances in the early going. And I'm not sure if that was just a lack of confidence in the catch or what that was. Maybe he thought it was the better play. It seemed like it could have been a relatively routine catch, but no harm, no foul, I suppose. Goal was not scored on the play. Ball booted away by Vitangelo. 21 minutes into the contest. We're still scoreless. St. Francis 5 shots, Rochester 3. 2 corners each team, 3 fouls each team. 1 save for Noah Jaudet, 2 saves for KJ Jones of Rochester. Jones out of Macomb, Michigan, Dakota High School. Just about everybody on this Rochester Warriors roster is from the state of Michigan. Mainly local recruiting for David Anderson and his team. And when taken away, Kelvin and Lovu, much to the approval of the crowd on the near side, passes it to Joshua Yemen. Yemen, left-footed shot, saved by Jones. The rebound is unable to be put in by Laskowski. Oh, Leon Laskowski had a beautiful opportunity, unable to put it in, and we remain scoreless. Here's Mohammed Rashid on the far side. Rashid looking for some help. Instead, over the far end line. Mason Messina to throw it in. That one ended up being played over the far sideline as well, so it'll actually be a throw-in for Rochester this time. Officially halfway through the first half of play here in Joliet. Still scoreless. 7 shots for the Saints, 3 for Rochester. And that was the best scoring opportunity that the Saints had to this point. Much like Rochester early in the game, unable to cash in. Now Lovu trying to get a step on his defender. Battling 8s on the far side, and it's taken away. A little help from the defense and the teammate of number 8 in black, A.J. Santavi. Here is Rashid for Messina. Messina with a step, and down he goes, and that is going to be a free kick. Messina goes down hard on the collision. Looks like Messina is going to be okay. No cards given, and we'll have a free kick in a dangerous area for the Fighting Saints. Another good opportunity here. Mohammed Rashid will be the one to take it. Rashid looking over his options. The wall is set. Whistle blows. Rashid ready. There he comes. Towards goal, and it's saved. Picked right out of the air by Jones. Pretty good-looking shot from Rashid, but it bends right in the awaiting arms of KJ Jones, who had to really move his arms up at the last second there. It looked like he misjudged it, and then just able to put his arms up and catch it before the ball went into the back of the net. Saints back with possession, however, off the clear. Rashid keeping it in bounds on the far side, just barely. And now back up to Rashid, who plays it towards Yemen. And the ball is bouncing dangerously in the box. Yemen with a chance to take a shot. He really didn't get enough on it. And Jones able to gobble it up. Oh, one of the defenders, that's number 2, Matthews Barron, was right there with Yemen. And when Yemen tried to take the shot, the leg of Barron blocked his, which really forced him to hit a leaking shot towards Jones. Now Rochester perhaps with a chance to spread out offensively. Ball played ahead and quickly taken away by Santillan. Here he is on the near side. Laskowski looking for some help. Laskowski, nice fancy footwork on the near side. But it ends up just being played back to the defense anyway. Vitangelo up ahead, picked off by Rochester. Ofimu has the ball back after the give and go. And he's going to just keep going. St. Paul will be charged with a foul here. And we'll have a free kick. Probably the most dangerous area we've seen a Rochester free kick so far. Looked like Ofimu got tripped up. Always interesting to see the different types of cleats the players wear. Ofimu certainly no different. He has the aqua teal type cleats on, it looks like. A couple of different colors going on there. It always seems to be a fashion statement for the soccer players, whether it's on the men's or women's side. Of course, that is your tool, much like a tennis racket would be for a tennis player. You see lots of different tennis rackets. You see lots of different shoes, because the shoe is the tool that these soccer players use, besides, of course, their body. Ball played in, nicely curling, and Jaudet there to punch it out. And Jaudet got hit hard, and we're going to stop the clock, because that did not look good for Noah Jaudet, who is down in pain as he tried to run in and punch away the ball. Looks like he's back up on his feet. Saw him punching the ground earlier, like something didn't look good, but Jaudet seems to be walking it off just fine. Rochester's Nathan Tranzo is going to be called for a yellow card on that play. And we're back underway. Just over 18 minutes to play. First half. Still scoreless. The first yellow card of the day dished out. Didn't see any in the first half of our game on Tuesday when the Saints tied Taylor 1-1. But we saw plenty in the second half as things continued to get chippy throughout. And a little bit of physicality today. Nothing too egregious. Ofimu goes down looking for the call, but he didn't get it. Looked pretty clean from my vantage point. And Vitangelo has it end up over the sideline. We'll have a couple of subs here. Number 19, Derek Bike from Rochester, and number 17, Miguel Duran. Ball played into the box, headed away by Santillan, so it'll be a corner kick for Rochester. Looks like they might try to play this one quickly. A couple of players around it. Adjusting the ball ever so slightly to give himself the best edge. Hands up, here comes the kick, drilled low and hard all the way across the face of goal, and eventually a foul called on Rochester on the way in. Somebody just a tad too aggressive, and Stephen Campbell's going to try to start the counterattack right away, stymied quickly by Rochester's defense. Messina plays it ahead, now Messina again. Messina up towards Ndlovu and Miguel Duran, and Jones, a little bobble, but he was able to make the play. No offsides flag up on the near side. Rochester was calling for it, but I didn't see Besnik Rexhepi raise the flag, so could have been dangerous. Jones able to corral it regardless. Richards for Rochester on the far side, looking for some help, finds it. Rochester throw-in on the far side. A 2-0 win for the Saints last year in this matchup. For some reason I thought it was 3-1 for a while. Either way, I had the 2-goal differential right, but it was a shutout last year for the Saints. Leon Laskowski scored the first goal on an assist from Mohamed Rashid, as that one almost an own goal. Batangelo nearly headed into his own goal, but it's saved by Jawdat over the bar, and it'll be a corner kick once again for Rochester. That was very dangerous for St. Francis. And another close call. I've seen many of them towards this goal to our left. One as well on the goal to our right. Corner kick swirls in. Jawdat didn't get much of it, but luckily Campbell was at the near post and able to spike it up into the air. That's going to be a foul. I think it's going to be Rochester on the foul. Thought Duran may have been a little too aggressive there, but instead they'll call it on Rochester. 30 minutes gone, first half, still scoreless. Our game on Tuesday was scoreless through 45 minutes. In fact, scoreless through about 60 minutes until St. Francis put themselves on the board. Kelvin Ndlovu off the assist from Mohamed Rashid. And we're going to have St. Francis subbing in another player. This is Ivan Serlina. He'll replace Santillan. Serlina into the game, a midfielder, 6'1", 180-pound senior from Lombard. Went to Glenbard East. Stephen Campbell chipping it ahead. Josh Yemen. Lots of space. Yemen plays it up for Ndlovu. Little miscommunication. Didn't look like Ndlovu was running back for it. And it's easily headed to the keeper by Mateusz Barron. That extra touch, perhaps, was the key. Slowing down Ndlovu just a touch because he had to stay on side. Now this ball played for Rashid. Lots of open space in front of him. Rashid has options. Mohamed Rashid has it taken away. Nice tackle by Barron, but ever so briefly. Rashid again, looking for help. Goes back. Messina chips it ahead, and Messina just hit it over the far sideline. And it'll be a Rochester throw-in. That looked like a real good opportunity, but Mateusz Barron made a great play defensively for Rochester on the far side. Richards up to Batangelo. Batangelo will play it back towards Noah Jawdat. Can't say it's been the most decisive half for Jawdat, but he has made a couple of real good saves, which has kept the game scoreless. Auditioning essentially for the starting job today after Carlos Ferrer-Cotto played a real nice game on Tuesday. Jawdat was the starter last year, so he has the collegiate experience under his belt. That's certainly I'm sure plays big into the mind of head coach Dan Cross when thinking about who to start the rest of the season, or whether they'll do a tandem style. You rarely see that, at least regularly on a season. Usually you want a consistent starting keeper. This one played ahead. Beautiful ball. Ndlovu with a chance. Oh, and it's saved by Jones. Real nice play. KJ Jones coming off his line, meeting Ndlovu at the top of the box, and he's able to take it away. This ball, nicely played by Ndlovu. Here he is again. Again, another perhaps a chance for St. Francis. Stopping, hitting towards the near side. It got deflected by a Rochester defender, and so it angles more towards midfield. Serlina hangs on, able to keep it. Ball deflected. And then Lucas St. Paul hits a back spinner towards the near side. Headed down by Rochester. And the defense will control. Nice give and go to take it away from their defensive third. Miguel Duran couldn't quite keep possession, and it plays back towards Batangelo. Lots of pressure from Rochester here in this game. They're really an emphasis of spreading out when they get the chance. 10.5 minutes to play. First half, still scoreless. And Lovu with a chance here. Bringing it, and a nice tackle again. Matthews Barron earning his keep there on the back line. A couple of real nice defensive plays to stymie potential chances for St. Francis. Castillo plays it ahead, and it goes out of bounds in favor of a throw-in for Rochester. And Lova with the 1 goal on the season for the Saints. Mohamed Rashid on the assist. That one came on Tuesday here at home against Taylor. And the Saints will play their first 4 games of the season at home. That includes tomorrow night, same time, same place, 7 p.m., HCI Field, St. Francis and Lincoln Christian. One of the storylines will be who gets the start in goal. Starting lineup has shifted around a bit, and we have an offsides call here on Rochester. Far side official Ethan Bugey all over it. Serlina trying to keep it to himself. Instead, ball played back towards the St. Francis back line, which has moved their way all the way up to midfield. Let's see if Patangelo can get there first. He does, kicking it right into his own bench near his head coach Dan Cross, standing to the right of the bench. Xavier Corona, the assistant coach, out in front of the bench, arms crossed, similar to head coach Dan Cross. Serlina takes it away. Ivan trying to get some more space, and we're going to have a foul. And not the worst foul to give up there if you're A.J. Santavi. Really, it halted the momentum of a potential counterattack for the Saints. Miguel Duran, his touch a little too far. Here's Richards. Weaving through St. Francis players. Ofimu with the fancy back pass. And Rochester keeps possession. This ball played ahead. Patangelo's there. Plays the bounce pretty well. And it's still bouncing around. Who wants it? It's going to end up with Shauna of Rochester before Messina takes it away. Messina to Campbell, who was just able to corral it. Now Campbell up for Kelvin and Lovu. And Lovu cutting to the inside. Not quite taken away by one of the Rochester defenders. This time it wasn't Barron. This was Tranzo instead. Excuse me, that's not Tranzo. That's Kyle Emmy. St. Francis throw in. We have a sub on the near side before we get to that. It'll be Raul Roman checking into the game, and he will replace Josh Yemen. Roman playing both midfielder and forward. He's just a freshman, but getting some minutes here in the early goings of the season. Out of Aurora, Illinois, in Wabansie Valley High School. Both teams have had pretty good chances here in the first half, neither able to capitalize to this point. And here's Rashid playing for Lucas St. Paul on the near side. Back to Serlina. Couldn't quite wind up a shot because of the defensive play of Rochester. Ball back into the middle third. Ofimu digging into Serlina. Now Rashid. Once again, Rashid swipes a shot that bounces right into the hands of Jones. 6 minutes and change remaining first half. 10 shots for St. Francis, 3 for Rochester, but 2 of 3's Rochester shots really had a great chance of going in. 7 shots on goal for St. Francis, but 7 saves for KJ Jones. He has kept him out of the net. Ball played ahead for Duran. He heads it on. And perhaps on a misplay, and Lovu able to get it. Calvin and Lovu weaving, looking to the inside. Fans like it. Putting down, here's a shot that is blocked. That one by Duran. And a throw in for the Saints on the near side with just over 5 minutes to play here in the first half. And excuse me, it might actually be a corner. I didn't see where the ball went out. But Stephen Campbell setting up for a corner, so excuse me on that. And Campbell will set up. Campbell out of Georgia. Has Durant to his left, but I think he's going to boot this one into a dangerous area. Raises the arms. Here he comes, swirling towards the top of the box, and it's headed away by Ofimu. This one blasted towards goal and eventually saved as it was Castillo. Another save in the books for Jones, who already has 8 here in the first half. Shows many chances for the Saints as well. Jawed at with a big boot past midfield. And Lovu battling. He's been real active here in this first half, facilitating chances for the Saints. Serlina with a good tackle, but recovering Santavi. Down goes Santavi. Mohamed Rashid fighting with a couple of players. Chips it ahead, and Duran was hoping that ball would get by the defender. Instead, St. Paul on the near side. Up to Idlovu. Nice footwork to get himself into position. Looking for some open targets. Trying to get around the defender. Stops. Finds somebody. Duran, or excuse me, that's Roman who has his shot blocked. Played over the near sideline. 3.5 minutes to play first half. St. Francis has had the better of the action here in the last 20 minutes or so. Looking to capitalize. Petangelo goes down. And it'll be a throw-in for Rochester near side. Now a 10-shot advantage for the Saints. But where it counts, we're still scoreless. Here's the throw-in. Ofimu plays it down, and we're going to get a foul called on Serlina. Little too physical on the 50-50 ball. First game of the season for the Warriors. Second game of the season for the Saints, who tied Taylor on Tuesday. Unintentional alliteration on that one. This one ripped towards the box. Good-looking ball. Headed back up into the air by a Saints defender. St. Paul blasted towards his teammates on the bench. Ofimu battling with a pair of St. Francis players in a corner. Won by Ofimu in Rochester. So they'll set up for this one. Set pieces has been a little tough for the Saints so far today, and that's something that Dan Cross has been really emphasizing in practice. They had to defend a bunch of set pieces on Tuesday. Whistle blows, under 2 minutes to go. Corner comes in low. Ofimu had a chance for a back heel attempt, but Rashid, right in the middle of the goal, able to head it away and get the Saints out of trouble. Ball played over the near sideline, and they say it's deflected off of St. Francis. It'll be a Rochester throw-in. And Lovu beside himself with the call. Not particularly enthused. Ofimu heads it up into the air, looking to tap it to himself. Played out of bounds. It'll be another throw-in for Rochester. They throw it deep, looking for a one-on-one target. They found it, but won by the St. Francis defender until Richards hits a ground ball shot that Jawdat handles easily. Second save of the day for Jawdat. He's only faced 4 shots, but he's had some pretty good action around the goal, although he had about 25 minutes or so between shots. Now under a minute to play first half. We're still scoreless. Ofimu plays it back. Fakori up ahead. Richards running into the area dangerously. And an offsides called on Rochester. He was offsides. Was Richards. And I think that should just about do it here for the first half, unless Petangelo wants to go real quickly. It doesn't look like the Saints will do so. 10 seconds to go, and I think that'll just wrap up the first half. 13 shots for the Saints, 4 for Rochester. 8 on goal for the Saints, 2 on goal for Rochester. And that'll do it for the first half. 5 corners for Rochester, 3 for the Saints, 7 fouls, Rochester 5 for St. Francis in the first half. 15 minutes is all that separates us from the final 45. We hope you stay with us. You're watching University of St. Francis men's soccer. Back for the second half between Rochester and St. Francis. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside. Still scoreless between these two teams. 45 minutes in. Teams will trade ends, and it looks like both keepers have stayed the same. KJ Jones in goal for Rochester. Noah Jaudet staying in goal for St. Francis. Check in on who is on the field currently. First for the Saints, Raul Roman has stayed in the game. He is playing, right forward, right midfielder, wing, whatever you want to call it. And Lovu's on the near side. And Mohamed Rashid playing in the midfield. There is Rashid looking up for Ndlovu. Nice touch by Kelvin Ndlovu. Looking to fire a shot. He does. It's blocked. Down to Roman, who shoots, and that one's blocked. Rochester able to get back on defense really quickly and able to block both attempts for St. Francis, but it will be a corner for the Saints. It'll be Stephen Campbell, the one to take it on the far side as the Saints push numbers forward. 5 white jerseys in the box. Campbell fires the ball towards the near post, headed towards goal and wide. That was by Batangelo. St. Francis already 16 shots on the game, but unable to put one in the back of the net so far. Both teams with pretty solid chances in the first 45 minutes, neither team able to convert. Here's Josh Yemen back into the game for St. Francis. Yemen. Now the ball pinballing around near the middle third, eventually out. And it's brought down by Batangelo. Played up to Yemen. Josh Yemen, the forward out of England, getting the start in both games so far for St. Francis. Now Kyle Richards for Rochester. Mohamed Rashid, limited, but play on, says the official, and the ball is cleared away by Rochester. And Lovu tips it towards Rashid until it's taken away by Rochester. And down the near sideline until it goes out of bounds, and Castillo. Here's Ndlovu looking to find some space, and he ends up over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for St. Francis, and Ndlovu able to gain that corner kick with his speed. Stephen Campbell will be the one to take it on the near side once again. Campbell winds, fires, far post. Rashid's on the other end of it, but he heads it right into the ground and wide. Another shot for St. Francis that goes by the wayside. KJ Jones 8 saves so far in the game. On the other side, Noah Jaudet has a pair, and both have had to make pretty difficult saves so far today, and have done so successfully. Castillo, and we're going to stop here. Down hard is Derek Bike, who has started this second half. He came in as a substitute in the first half, and it looks like he will walk it off, and looks like they're going to pull the yellow card out on Castillo. Ryan Castillo, his first yellow card of the season. Very young season, just the second game so far. Best thing about early in the season is that everybody's got a chance. It's all very positive all around locker rooms across the country here in August. This ball booted high towards Jaudet, right at the post. He's able to make the catch. Was going to go a little wide, but Jaudet's smart to get a hand in there anyway, just in case. It curled at the last second. Played up towards Joshua Yemen. Ball taken away. Here's Kelvin and Lovu. And Lovu looking for Yemen, but the ball spins like a cue ball after it was deflected. On the quick restart, here's Lovu again. Trying to find a centering pass. Instead, cleared away by Rochester. And Lovu again has the ball taken away, but it'll be a corner kick. Once again for St. Francis. This will be their 6th of the contest. One more than Rochester has had so far. First game of the season for the Warriors. Second game of the season for St. Francis. Here comes the corner, swirling towards the box. KJ Jones couldn't get a hand on it, but a defender did, and Lovu takes a swing at it. It goes a little wide, and now it's brought down by Serlina. Roman takes a swing at it. It's blocked. Chipped away, down to Campbell. Played into the middle. Ooh, Yemen couldn't quite collect it. Still dangerously around to the box. Now Campbell just fires it, and it goes way high and wide. Ball back into play towards midfield. Yemen, nice job bringing it down, but then his pass a little too far, intended for Lovu. And it goes right to the defender, and Matthews Barron, who has been all over it on the back line. Ball played ahead. Here's a long shot, saved by Jones. That one just blasted. Jones had to stop it with his hands before eventually corralling it. He did a nice job of doing so, not giving up a rebound. Ball played ahead. Now Rochester with a chance offensively. And skipping over the slide tackle. Down to Serlina, who clears it. Yemen plays it ahead. Rashid able to get by. Rashid by Barron, looking for some help. Try to clear it towards the center on the cross, and it'll be a goal kick. Rashid cannot win that one. Another nice recovery play defensively, that time by Barron. Mason Messina on the near side. Stephen Campbell. And now taken away by Rochester. Warriors. 4 shots so far in the contest, but they've had some really good chances to score. All those came in the first half. Here's another one. Kyle Richards with a chance. One-on-one. He shoots and scores. Off the turnover from Batangelo. Kyle Richards unassisted. Number 12, Kyle Richards scores. The 35-29 mark in the first half. No assist. And the first goal of the season for Richards. And now we have a stoppage. It looks like we'll have another card of some sort. This time it'll be Serlina. Not a whole lot going right here for St. Francis in the last couple of minutes. They're out shooting Rochester currently 21-5, but Rochester gets on the scoreboard first. Ball popped up into the air. Rashid there to clear it, but a big goal for Rochester's Kyle Richards. Has the Warriors up by 1. St. Francis quickly trying to answer. Here's Ndlovu. Cutting to the inside. Back for Campbell. Looking for a foul, and they get it as Campbell fired a shot. And we're going to get a foul here. And let's see. They're going to put it on the penalty spot. Looks like Mohammed Rashid will be the one to take it. And he scores. 34-55 to go, and already the Saints are right back in it, tying the score at 1. Quickly back underway. And we're tied at 1 here at ATI Field, just like that. Very quick action on each side. Ndlovu draws the foul. Rashid puts it in. Ofimu trying to go back the other way. Nice job by Castillo, holding his ground, able to take it away. Serlina looking ahead for Ndlovu, not this time. And after no chances being converted in the first 50 minutes or so of this contest, we've had the last 2 have been converted. Batangelo perhaps smartly kicking that one away. Jawdat was approaching, but perhaps not quick enough. As there is a Rochester attacker barreling down. There's a whistle in the middle of the field. A foul on St. Francis. Free kick for the Warriors from the far side. Swirling in, Serlina kicks it away. Brought back in, but not quite decisively enough. Mohammed Rashid looking for Ndlovu. That pass just a little too far, as Barron was able to easily come in the way of it. Barron battling with Ndlovu. Down goes Barron, up goes Messina. Messina looking for Ndlovu, a little too far with his pass, and it'll be a throw-in for the Warriors. Ball hit ahead until Jawdat says he doesn't want to see any of that. Just drills it upfield. Serlina blasts one from distance. He had Josh Yemen right in front of him to his right. Instead of trying to thread the pass between two defenders, he takes the shot himself, and it goes a little high. Another potential chance for the Saints, now out shooting Rochester 23-5. Always great to have the students back on campus, and that means, of course, that we have lots of sports going on all around campus and all around Joliet, really, this week. Already had the Saints draw Taylor 1-1. That one happening on Tuesday. Now in our second soccer game of the week, Rochester and St. Francis, and it'll only continue tomorrow. It's a great day to be a St. Francis fan tomorrow, as down goes Serlina, and I believe that could be a card on Ofimu. We'll see. Serlina, or excuse me, that's Campbell, I should say. Sorry about that. Stephen Campbell slowly rising to his feet. See if Primick brings the yellow card out. He's going to talk to Ofimu first. We'll see if he decides to pull out the card. 31:36 remaining on the clock. Dan Cross, I think, wants a yellow for Ofimu. He is wondering why Primick is taking this long chat. And it looks like Primick is not going to pull out the yellow card, much to the dismay of the St. Francis coaching staff. But Rashid will have a chance 35 yards away to drill one. Let's see if he opts for the curling pass or the shot. Back underway. Rashid looking over his options. He blasts one right at Jones. It takes a rough hop on him and colliding with him eventually. It was number 10 for St. Francis, Anthony Scripp, who is in the game at forward. And Jones able to make the save. That is his 10th of the day. He's in double figures. It's been a pretty nice game for him. The only shot that went past him was on a penalty shot. This ball chipped towards the middle. Yemen's right there. Yemen with the header, shoots and scores! Josh Yemen off the feed from the far side. First goal of the season for Josh Yemen. And that has the Saints now up 2-1. And Ndlovu takes it off a potential misplay, and Jones eventually able to corral it before Ndlovu could have another chance at it. St. Francis really bearing down on offense. They have been really all game. But they were able to convert it into a couple of goals here in the last couple of minutes to put themselves up 2-1. And stoppage. Not sure exactly what this is all about, but now it's Kyle Richards who was having a chat with Jordan Primick, our middle official. Primick's been busy here in the last couple of minutes. And now we will resume play. Yemen plays it towards the middle. High arcing ball brought down by Rashid, but unable to keep it until Batangelo just blasted out of here and all the way down towards the end line. Then we'll have a Rochester sub. Barrett George coming in, and he'll replace Christian Sipley. Talk about blasting one away. There's one about halfway up the bleachers on the far side. Big boot from a St. Francis defender to keep it away. Rochester trailing now 2-1, trailing for the first time in the game. Serlina takes it away and still battling now Rashid with some space. Rashid chips one up and Lovu has good speed. And Lovu down the near sideline trying to keep it in play. He does. And it goes out of bounds. What's the call? It is Rochester throw-in, and they'll restart quickly. There's Barron booting it away, high into the air. Header won by the shorter Castillo over Ofimu. Played ahead by Yemen towards Ndlovu, not quite good enough as Barron once again finds himself in a good defensive position, and he is able to corral it. And Ndlovu looking for some space, hits a shot that is blocked and then swept away by the Rochester defense. On the near side, Mason Messina has Ndlovu to his left. It's tipped out of bounds. That one off of a Warrior. It'll be a throw-in for St. Francis. Ball played to the middle. Ooh, almost just over the head of Josh Yemen. And Anthony Scripp on the far side will let it roll all the way over for a throw-in. Mohamed Rashid, swirling ball, looking good, and Ndlovu heads it towards Yemen, who tried something or other to kick with his back foot, unable to hit it towards goal, instead actually hit it away from the net. And it rolls all the way to midfield where Messina gains some position on Richards and lets it go out of bounds. Beautiful night here in Joliet. 26 minutes to play. You're in the second half, and St. Francis has taken a 2-1 lead. Played out of bounds, and a throw-in for St. Francis. Messina will take it, looking for targets. Here's Rashid. Back to Messina. Messina will blast it far side. I think he shanked that one a little bit. I don't know if he wanted it that far back. And an oncoming Rochester attacker ends up biting it hard. That's Barrett George on his way to the ball, and he may have had a chance at that one, but lost his footing on the turf. That one played up by Serlina. Here's Yemen. Yemen rips a shot right towards the near post. Beautiful save made by Jones. That had some heat to it. It was heavy as well. When you look at a guy like Josh Yemen who's got some build on that frame, not only can he put some heat on it, but those shots are heavy for a keeper to save. Rashid is onside, trying to keep the ball in play. He does. Now trying to keep it in play again. He does. Except he didn't. And as Besnik Rexhepi says on the near side. Good hustle by Mohammad Rashid, but it'll be a throw-in for the Warriors. St. Francis looking for their first win of the season. Last year, their first win of the year came against these Warriors right here at home. Both teams will also play tomorrow, back-to-back days. Never easy to do at the collegiate level, but both teams will do so. Yemen gets fouled in the middle of the field. And it'll be a free kick from about 35 yards out for the Fighting Saints. Tomorrow, the Warriors of Rochester will head up north and a little west to Elgin, where they will play Judson University. And we're going to stop the clock here. It looks like something was seen by Ethan Bugie on the far side that middle official Jordan Primick did not, and so they will get together and make sure they get this call right. But there was some sort of, there's some yelling from the near side. And it looks like they are going to give a red card. Oh my goodness. They have sent off Ofimu. Jordan Primick pulls out the red card and sends off Alex Ofimu. And Rochester will have to play with 10 men the rest of the way. That is a big call. It looks like Bugie was all over it on some pushing and shoving. And Primick had a talk with Ofimu earlier. And apparently that is going to be it for Rochester's number 4. Still pleading his case as he jogs back to the bench. And Yemen's coming off the field as well. I wonder if they gave a double red. May have been the two jostling, but Yemen has come off the field too, so I got a feeling that he also has been sent off. He only pulled up one red card, but Primick is going to make sure that both coaching staffs are aware of what just happened. Bugie was the one who Primick had to talk to. So both teams will play with 10 men the rest of the way, just confirming the call. And it is a double red, which will send Yemen and Ofimu to the showers early, or at least to the benches early. Yemen, the second goal scorer, he currently has the game-winning goal. Now we'll have a couple of subs into the game. And Lova will come off for St. Francis. He is replaced by Miguel Duran. And on the opposing side, Christian Sipley back in, replacing Barrett George. And now both teams will play with 10 men the rest of the way. 24 minutes, or just under that, remaining in the game. And St. Francis leading by a score of 2-1. It has been a bit chippy today, and Primick's been all over it. He's had many chats with many different players and explained to them what happened. Back underway, Mohammad Rashid blasts one at Jones, and he's able to make the play. Another save by Jones. That is his 12th. Now both teams playing with 10 men. A bit more open space out there on the field. Kyle Richards. He's the goal scorer for Rochester, but he has it taken away. And that's a nice move by Batangelo. Now looking to the near side, Campbell. Lots of open space in front of him. He has Duran. Campbell looking to the far side. And offsides is the call on St. Francis. You're going to see, I think, a lot more of that here in the last 23 minutes. A lot more open spaces leading to potential goal-scoring opportunities. And that could be a thing for a team that's leading at St. Francis, something they don't want. They may want a little bit of a slower game, try to get themselves their first win. But to this point, St. Francis has 28 shots on the game to Rochester's just 5. They've really dominated the game in terms of that, but the quality of chances, although it has been certainly a quantity in favor of St. Francis, Rochester certainly has had their chances. They've been able to score as well. It was the defensive miscue that allowed Kyle Richards to find an open space and hit it into the near post. Looks like Josh Yemen is back on the bench, so I don't think he has been completely sent off to the showers. He did get a red card. Campbell rips a shot that ends up wide. That one looked good from up here until it whizzed past the near post and well into the grassy area beyond the track here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Day has turned to night here. It is a very beautiful night. Just past 8:30 here in Joliet. Brought down, this time Anthony Scripp. Scripp looking for options. Chips it up ahead, and it's hit away by Matthews Barron, who seems to be in the middle of everything defensively for Rochester. Had a very good game on the defensive end. KJ Jones, not a bad game himself. 12 saves for Jones, but he's faced 29 shots. He's allowed the 2 goals so far. Played ahead, now chipped up, and Messina trying to bring it down. He couldn't. Across from Serlina from the far post, coming towards the near post, and Messina just couldn't quite corral it before it went over the end line. Big day tomorrow here at ATI Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium. We'll get you to that in a second, as first we have Rashid playing up for Campbell. Campbell plays it back for Rashid, who has plenty of open space. Thought about firing a shot, now does, towards the near post, and Jones is all over it. Another save for Jones. That one curled towards the near post. Tomorrow, triple header of Saints action. Starts off with the football team facing off against number 4 Morningside. And then 2 soccer games. The women against Cleary University as Scripp chips one up. Barron heads it away. And then also on the docket, the men's soccer team will play against Lincoln Christian. That one starts at 7. So you got 12 o'clock, 4:30, and 7. Spend a day with us here at ATI Field. Nice play there by Rochester. Now that ball flipped into a dangerous area, headed by Richards, but too high. Richards with a great opportunity to get his second goal of the day. Instead, it goes high. And that's just a product of the open space. Both teams playing with 10 men at the moment. That extra space on the field really opens up those counterattack opportunities for Rochester, who now has just 6 shots, but have seen some pretty solid scoring opportunities to this point. Out of bounds, throw in for the Saints near side. 19 minutes to play, second half. Saints leading 2-1. Now a little hold on the far side by a Fighting Saint. Rochester free kick just beyond midfield, in the midfield stripe. Ball played ahead. Campbell using his speed, getting to that ball first down the line. Has Duran in the middle. Campbell one-on-one with Barron, one of the top defenders for Rochester, especially on today's game. Back to Scripp, and right back to Campbell. Over to Serlina. Serlina winding up to fire a left-footed shot that skips all the way to KJ Jones. And Serlina taking another shot from distance, and pretty routine save for KJ Jones. That was Sipley who tried to bring that one down and head towards Jaudet in the St. Francis goal. Instead, another ball played ahead. Another penetrating ball ends up with Miguel Duran. Duran rips across, that ends up being blocked, and he'll win a throw-in. Anthony Scripp will be the one to take it. Scripp starting the second half. We didn't see him in the first half. He is a 5'9" senior from Plainfield South High School. And we're going to have a sub. It's Leon Laskowski coming in for St. Francis. And he will replace Ivan Serlina. Throw in comes short. Played down by Rashid. Right around two defenders. Winding up, ready to take a shot. Oh, a save by Jones. Rebound, but Jones able to pick it up. Rashid trying to use the outside of the right foot. Hit himself a little arcing shot, and Jones able to corral it. 32nd shot of the day for St. Francis, and the 17th on goal. Now Rashid tries to blast another one. This one's blocked. That cross attempt is out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick. See if Scripp will take it or if Campbell will run over there. Looks like Scripp running away from the play. And it will be Campbell once again, the normal corner kick taker for St. Francis. Under 16 minutes to play. Saints a 2-1 advantage today, looking for their first win of the year. Corner kick comes in near post, and KJ Jones, nicely done, able to corral it. A little dangerous, looked like Leon Laskowski almost got ahead on it. Not quite. Lucas St. Paul, who got the start at right back today, still in the game. Here is Miguel Duran, and he can't quite keep it in as he goes tumbling towards the track on the far side. Rochester will bring on a new body. This is Bike, who was in the first half as well. He'll replace Cameron Harrison. Rochester College lost the Fighting Saints last year by a score of 2-0 here in Joliet. That ball played up nicely, no offsides. Here's a chance and a shot ripped wide by Scripp. Coaching staff for Rochester trying to urge their players on here in the last 15 minutes of the game. Calvin Adlova will come back. And he will replace Scripp. A nice applause for Scripp as he comes off towards the near side, left side bench for St. Francis. Lovu skipping around a defender, Trying to find Duran, who was behind the defender. Unable to do so. Messina in the middle of the field, trying to bring the ball down. Eventually just hits it ahead for Duran. But it is popped back up into the air by one of the Rochester players. That's Fikori on the far side. And the throw-in will be taken by Lucas St. Paul. 10 fouls on Rochester, 7 on St. Francis. 2 yellow cards on the Saints, and 1 red card, a double red card. It was given to Josh Yemen. And on the opposing side, as here's another ball played in, but that cross attempt is gobbled up by Jones. It was Alex Ofimu who had the red card for Rochester. It was a double red card, so both teams playing with 10 men currently. Under 13 minutes to play second half. St. Francis leading 2-1. Lucas St. Paul is down on the field right now. St. Paul maybe just a cramp or a minor one. He's looking to jog it off here. Here is Mason Messina. Messina twirling around, looking for open targets, finds Campbell. Here's one on the near side, Leon Leskowski. Leskowski cuts to the inside, looking for an open space, looking for Ndlovu, couldn't find him. And then a couple of players go down, and then Ndlovu's going to be charged for the foul as he tried to go over the defender, Fakori, for Rochester. See that the president of St. Francis, Dr. Arvid Johnson, has made his way here to the game today, hanging out down by the scorer's table. Seen some student athletes as well out here supporting the men's soccer team. Always nice to see that camaraderie between the teams. You can tell that's really part of the culture here at St. Francis. Campbell and Leskowski. And Ndlovu over there as well. Throw in one by Rochester. And Ndlovu thought otherwise, but it'll be the throw in for Kyle Emmy. Leskowski hustles in, and they'll have to do it again. St. Francis leading 2-1. Rochester got on the scoreboard first, and we're going to have another stoppage. Let's see what this one is. Primick hanging around a couple of players. There was some extracurricular jostling there during the play. Primick thinking about pulling out the card, but it looks like he will hold off this time. Oh, well, he's still running over in that area. Let's see. Nope, looks like he's going to save the yellow card in the pocket for later. Free kick drilled in by Rochester, but a little too low of its intended target. Vitangelo nicely able to poke that one away after playing it off his chest. And now here's Kelvin Ndlovu again. He's got Rashid to his left. And Ndlovu with a couple defenders around him and a real nice play to poke the ball away by A.J. Santavi of Rochester. Vitangelo's nice slide tackle there, evading the counterattack and forcing a throw-in for the Warriors on the far side. The goal for Rochester, a defensive miscue by St. Francis allowed Kyle Richards to find some open space and hit it into the near right post. His first goal of the year. Then, not 2 or 3 minutes later, it was Mohamed Rashid from the penalty spot after Kelvin Ndlovu drew the foul in the box, which sent Rashid to the penalty spot. He drilled it into the left side. Here's Laskowski looking to add to the St. Francis 2-1 lead. Working on his defender, needing some help. Here comes Rashid offering said help, but it's out of bounds for a throw-in. And then Josh Yemen off a beautiful feed from Anthony Scripp on the far side. Yemen on the header that tipped right over KJ Jones, who was charging hard, trying to get there first. Laskowski couldn't quite get to that one, cleared away by the Warriors. Castillo up ahead, up into the air by Santavi. The ball continues to pinball around in the defensive third for Rochester until Messina keeps it in. Messina looking for Rashid to his left. Nicely done. Rashid has an option in the middle, and Lovu's offside, but he's not anymore. Yes, he is. He is offside. Called by the far side official. Looked like he had a step for a second, tried to get back onside, just couldn't quite get there in time before Rashid delivered the pass. Ball flipped on ahead to Laskowski. And taken away by Kyle Richards. Less than 8 minutes to play. Rochester, this opportunity looking for the game-tying goal. And Christian Batangelo is having none of it. Another nice play by the defender for St. Francis. Batangelo that time gets, and is just able to leak it over the near sideline. Just in time before that run was a possibility to happen. Laskowski out. Raul Roman back in for the Saints. In for Rochester, number 11, Cameron Harrison. Didn't have much of a break on the bench. He's back in the game. And he replaces number 19, Derek Bike. Less than 7 minutes to play. St. Francis holding on to a 2-1 advantage. Playing to the middle. Chance to rip a shot. It's blocked. Another chance perhaps. Down goes Duran and then cleared away by Batangelo. And we'll have a free kick for St. Francis after that. Chance that time for Santavi. And down on the field is Batangelo. He quickly gets to his feet. And make sure the clock does not stop. Keep that clock moving for the Saints. 6 minutes away from victory. Jawdat waving his arms forward, urging his players to spread out in front of him. Jawdat winds and delivers. A ball past the mid-line stripe and eventually headed over the far sideline for a Saints throw-in. Rochester throw in far side in the attacking third. Exactly where the Saints do not want them at this point in the game. Approaching 9 o'clock here in Joliet. Still short sleeves weather. But if you brought a long sleeve, I don't think you would be too eager to put it on, but perhaps. Batangelo able to tip that one away, and it's blasted by the St. Francis defender. Throw in for Rochester. Campbell down to Rashid. Perhaps some ball control here for the Saints. Roman up towards Campbell. Real nice pass by Roman. Campbell looking up for Ndlovu, who's well offside. And that pass came just a touch late for the Saints, and Ndlovu was a step or two offside by the time that pass was delivered. Castillo up in the air for Messina. And he puts one down the line, keeping it in play nicely. Rashid will take the throw in, it looks like, for St. Francis here. Just over 4 minutes to play as he drops off for Messina. St. Francis has outshot Rochester today 34-7. It's been really in terms of quantity, it has been a thorough domination for St. Francis in terms of shots, but the quality has been there for both teams. I can't say that Rochester hasn't had their chance. They had a chance to go up 1-0 very early in this contest. In fact, even 2-0. They had two really, really good chances in the first 5 minutes or so of this game. Unable to convert. Teams went scoreless into halftime, but Rochester did take the lead 1-0 to start off. It was a defensive miscue by the Saints. This time onside. Ndlovu, nope, he is offside. Referee on the far side just waited until Ndlovu was able to get the touch and then denied him with the flag up. They look pretty close, but I would have to agree with Bugie on the far side. I thought he was offside. Ball played ahead, and remember, this is a one-goal game, so any little slip-up by the St. Francis defense cannot happen at this point if they want to walk away with a victory. Ball played ahead this time. Oh, and he's offside again. Ooh, that one was real close. Bugie once again raising the flag. That is the third offsides call in the last 2.5 minutes called on Calvin Ndlovu. Under 3 minutes to play now, and a free kick for Rochester from the midfield stripe. Laying into one, it's all the way to Jawdat, and that's a pretty simple catch for the St. Francis keeper. Jawdat has looked a lot more comfortable here in the second half. He's able to keep the Warriors scoreless in the first half, and that's what matters. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. If you can keep the ball out of the net, that's what we're talking about. That's what you're looking for. Jawdat was able to do that. He's given up the one goal. And he's in a competition for that starting goalkeeper spot with freshman Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. Raul Roman looking for Campbell. Ball taken away. Under 2 minutes to play. St. Francis leading 2-1. That one blasted by Vitangelo high into the air. And Ndlovu going after it, applying some pressure. And he is almost able to poke it away from Jones. And now Richards was a little lackadaisical, and eventually he's able to clear it. And now it looks like we're going to have offsides called on Rochester. .90 seconds. Vitangelo will put it back into play. He plays it to the near side, Raul Roman, and the Saints looking for some possession to run out these last couple of seconds. Popped up into the air by Rochester. Saints looking for that 2-1 victory. 70 seconds to play. Roman loses it, but Campbell's got it. Back to Roman. Raul Roman cutting to the inside, looking for some help. Has it on the far side and finds it. That is Duran up for Ndlovu, who will go to the corner or here, or perhaps not, as Richard takes it away. But he clears it over the far sideline. 45 seconds to play. Saints that far away from their first victory of the year. Rochester trying to exact some revenge on last season when they came here to St. Francis and lost 2-0. This time they were able to get on the scoreboard first and led 1-0, but for all of about 2 minutes before Mohamed Rashid scored from the penalty spot. Now 25 seconds to play. Rochester, one last-ditch effort to tie this game. That one goes over the far sideline for a St. Francis throw-in, and that could just about do it. 15 seconds left. St. Francis in no hurry. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. The throw-in's going to come in, and St. Francis is going to go to 1-0-1 on the year, still unbeaten, as the Saints win this game. Final score 2-1. Here are the final stats for this one. 34 shots to 7 in favor of the Saints, 17 on goal to 3 for the Warriors. 15 saves for KJ Jones. Pretty impressive day in net, but he will take the loss. Noah Jawdak gets the win. He made 2 saves today. We had a total of 5 cards in today's game, 2 reds and 3 yellows, as the Saints led in corner kicks 7-5. As for our scoring today, started off by Kyle Richards on a bit of a defensive miscue, unassisted, turnover in the box, and Richards shot it to the near post for his first goal of the year. Mohammed Rashid from the penalty spot, not 30 seconds later, to put St. Francis in a tie. And then the game-winning goal to the freshman Josh Yemen, his first of the year, on a beautiful delivery from Anthony Scripp from the far side. Saints win 2-1. Thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast of Saints men's soccer. Remember, a triple header tomorrow starting right here at 12 o'clock. St. Francis will take on number 4 Morningside football. That'll be followed by a 4:30 women's soccer game. They will take on Cleary University. And then the nightcap, 7 o'clock, these men's soccer players will head back to the field. They will take on Lincoln Christian at 7 p.m. Thanks again for tuning in. We hope you tune in tomorrow as well. Luke Tanaka signing off from ATI Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium. A 2-1 win for the Saints men.